Hello hockey fans and welcome back to another video. This weekend I was supposed to be making a video on 10 former NHLers who are killing it in the KHL. However, since the release of my Jokerit Minsk controversy video just last week, some more breaking news has been announced, which has seen the KHL's lone Finnish franchise hit another huge bump in the road. Not only has Jokerit's year already faced political turmoil, social unrest and potential fan boycotting, thanks to them now being affected by the current global pandemic through no fault of their own, the Scandinavian side has seen their season go from bad to worse just 10 days into the year. So instead of highlighting the players who are performing well during the 2021 season, let's take a look at what's happened to this Finnish side over the last few days, as we explore Jokerit's journey from forfeit to quarantine. Before we begin, if you want to see a more detailed look at the KHL's first week of play, as well as other topics within the European hockey world and exclusive bonus clips, check out the Europuck podcast YouTube channel hosted by yours truly. A link will be in the pinned comment and the description down below. But anyways, on with the video. Now, we finished last video with Jokerit taking a forfeit loss on September 3rd after failing to attend their opening game of the season against Dynamo Minsk due to the protests and riots taking place in the city as a result of Belarus's recent election. So let's pick things up where we left off and explore each of the events that have happened in Jokerit's season up until this point. That way we can see both the highs and lows they have faced in the days following their opening day drama. A few days after the Jokerit Minsk controversy, Jokerit finally suited up in their first actual game of the season on September 5th, as they made the trip to Latvia in order to take on Dynamo Riga. Though some might have expected Jokerit to be a little slow out of the gate, given they were the last team to play their first regular season game this year, unfortunately for Riga this wasn't the case. Thanks to a trio of goals from Mikko Lehtinen, Jordan Schroeder and Iro Pakarinen, as well as a 13-save performance from Yannis Kalnins, the Finnish side would receive their first good news of the season as they registered a 3-1 win over Dynamo. 4 days after their first victory on September 9th, Jokerit would take to the ice in their brand new Heartwall Arena for the very first time, as they hosted Russian side Neftahimik in their home opener of the season. Not only would the Finnish side secure their second straight win when the final buzzer sounded, they would do so in pretty convincing fashion too, as a pair of goals from Lehtinen and Schroeder, a single goal performance from Pakarinen and Niklas Jensen, as well as a 23-save shutout from Anders Lindback, helped Jokerit take a 6-0 victory over Neftahimik. So after a forfeit loss in their first game of the season, Jokerit had bounced back with a pair of wins and a 9-1 goal difference in that span, securing 4th place in the KHL's Western Conference at the time of this recording. However, the Finnish side was about to receive some really bad news. Just a few days ago on September 11th, the KHL announced that the Dynamo Riga Neftahimik game scheduled for later that day had been postponed to a future date. While this seemed eerily reminiscent of the Jokerit Minsk situation just a week prior, this game was cancelled for a completely different reason. As Neftahimik arrived at Riga Airport on September 10th and underwent routine testing before entering the country, the results revealed that 7 different players on Neftahimik's roster had recorded positive results for the virus that's been going around, with 4 cases being confirmed after further testing. Now, what does this have to do with Jokerit? Well, if you remember what I said about a minute ago, Jokerit had hosted Neftahimik at their home arena just 2 days prior, and although the Russian side had recorded no positive tests before leaving Helsinki, Jokerit were now considered part of Neftahimik's contact group, as it had been such a short span of time between the game they played in Finland and the positive test results in Riga. So not only would Neftahimik have to lock down their team until their entire roster was deemed free from the virus, Jokerit's players and on-ice staff would also have to undergo additional testing for the virus, rendering their game that day against Akbars Kazan practically unplayable. So not only had the Riga Neftahimik game been postponed, the Jokerit Kazan game had also been pushed back too. God, these Finns just can't catch a break this year, can they? If that wasn't bad enough, Jokerit then dropped a bombshell of a statement on their website. The good news was that the team had all been tested and every result came back negative. But the bad news was that the Finnish government had informed the team that the entire roster had to be placed under quarantine for the next 14 days. This meant that alongside their game against Kazan, Jokerit would also have to postpone their next 4 regular season games too, including 2 home games against Severstal and Metallurg, as well as away matches against Vityaz and CSKA Moscow. So after forfeiting their first game of the season due to Belarus's political and social unrest, after finally getting their season underway and winning 2 straight games in pretty convincing fashion, Jokerit has now seen their next 5 games of the year postponed due to potentially being exposed to the virus. So by the time the 2021 KHL season is close to concluding its first month of play, Jokerit will have been credited with just 3 games played, while having actually taken to the ice in just 2 of their 8 regular season matches. The hockey gods really don't want Jokerit to play this season, do they, folks? Given the pressure they faced for their first game of the season, and just how well they were playing before this news was released, you can't help but feel bad for Jokerit here, can you? I mean, the entire team now has to spend 2 weeks in quarantine through no fault of their own. After all, it was Nefta Himik who had somehow caught the virus between their game in Helsinki and their flight to Riga. But since they had taken to the ice in Finland so recently before the positive results, Jokerit have also been caught in the crossfire. It's not as if you can blame Jokerit for being too relaxed in following guidelines or not sticking to the rules. Literally nothing they could have done would have changed the situation they are currently in. So for the second time this season, Jokerit have become a victim of circumstance, missing out on the next 2 weeks of training and regular season games, which will likely impact their overall performance in the short term, and perhaps over the next month or 2. That can have a big impact on the rest of their season. So what does this mean for Jokerit moving forwards? Well, provided everything goes to plan and there are no more positive test results in the next few weeks, the next time Jokerit will suit up for a regular season game will be on September 25th, for a home game against Sibir Novosibirsk. It also means that Jokerit will have to reschedule 5 of their first 8 games of the season and deal with the logistical hassle of trying to find a new suitable time to play each of their opponents. This will likely see the team play several more back-to-backs, or add a few extra game days than were originally intended over the next few weeks, which could deprive the team of extra practice sessions for upcoming games, or a day off to rest up, neither of which is ideal for a team trying to start the season off on the right foot. I mean, they will have already missed 5 straight games. The last thing they need is the domino effect that comes with it, you know? Let's just hope that Jokerit has got all of their bad luck out of the way early this year, and they can focus on having a successful run for the rest of the season. Things can't exactly get much worse, right? And on that note, I'm going to end today's video. What do you guys think about Jokerit's journey from forfeit to quarantine? Do you think the team staying in isolation for 2 weeks despite the negative test results is an overreaction, or do you think it's better to be safe than sorry? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear what you guys think. But thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share, or watch some of my other videos. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye. A big thank you to Chris Gadsby, Connor B, John Plomin, Jordan Whitehead, Martin Tolness, Paul Mallia, Roman from London, The Legacy, and Worthless Pieces for helping support this video via Patreon. If you too want to help support the channel a little bit further and get a shout out at the end of every future video, make sure you head over to patreon.com/oddmanrush and become a patron today.